Hello, my name is Brayanoski,
And I'm Austin Morales, and you're watching The Inner Gamer On.
and today we're going to be talking about how Fortnite has been removed from the Apple App Store and Google Play Store because of their own way of making money and them bypassing all of the rules of the system, and then they proceed to go and sue Apple and Google. So we have a lot to talk about that, so let's dive into all this controversy that's going on right now.
And as always, if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell. And you know you want to, because all you subscribers, thank you so much. Yes.
Boy, do we have some shit
Now, do
to
we?
talk about today.
Do we?
So let me give you the course of what happened last week. So first off, Fortnite announced, let's say Epic Games, they announced that they are dropping the price of their V-Bucks. So if you want to get what used to be $9.99 worth of V-Bucks, now you can get it 20% off permanently at $7.99. But there's a catch. To get it for $7.99, you have to use their payment system to do it. So on most platforms, totally fine. It happens. They have their own payment system, all is well and dandy, whatever. But on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, if you are selling in-game currency, you have to abide by Apple and Google Play's rules, which means that any in-game currency must use Apple's payment system, and there's a 30% fee basically on revenue that's made as being part of the App Store. And for Apple specifically, they state that the reason for the 30% quote unquote tax is that it's to help maintain the fidelity of the App Store and not get a bunch of bullshit junk that comes into the system. So, they have an app review process. It's very strict. I know for fact that it's very strict because I've uploaded apps to it before that have gone rejected multiple times because they were broken or had issues. So they basically kind of like have a second tier of review process before it goes through it, and humans review this stuff. So those people got to be paid. All that stuff has to happen. So there's a 30% fee that Apple takes for revenue of apps. I agree. It's a high percentage, but it is what it is. It's a cost of being on the Apple App Store. It's been that way since the inception. Google Play, whenever they announced their store, adopted that same kind of model. But with Google Play, there really isn't a review process. You can just put whatever the fuck you want on there, and they just have a 30% fee. So there's a difference between the two, and I want to make sure that that's specified because everybody's putting shame at Apple right now, but Google Play, I feel like, is more to be a concern for their price point than Apple is. But anyway, so this all happened. Fortnite released this app, and then Apple, within a day or two, proceeded to pull Fortnite from the App Store because it was in violation of their terms and service use of having in-game currency that was not using their system, which was avoiding the 30% tax. Yeah. So they did that, and then soon after that, Google also pulled Fortnite from the App Store. And so now they're both off the App Store. Fortnite's gone. But Fortnite, Epic Games specifically, was clearly intending to do this all along, and that this was part of their plan. Because soon after Apple pulled the app from the store, Fortnite released a video ad that was a parody of a video that Steve Jobs released way back in the day called 1984. That was a Super Bowl commercial that they did showcasing like them sticking it to the man and like bringing out a computer that was for everybody.
Yeah.
And that was like the idea, like avoid totalitarian government, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, so they did a parody video and was like, this is us sticking it to Apple, saying that they are charging an exorbitant amount of money to app developers and that we want you to, one, free Fortnite, hashtag free Fortnite, and also help us in fighting this monopoly of, taking too much money from developers when they shouldn't be taking money, blah, blah, blah. So that happened. And then Fortnite, Epic Games proceeded to file a lawsuit against Apple and filed a lawsuit against Google saying that they charge too much. They charge a tax. It's a monopoly. It's against all the things, whatever. And that's kind of where things are landing right now. One thing to also note is that the litigation that is filed against these two companies is not asking for money back. It's asking for a change in policy. So they're not looking for compensation from this. They're not suing them for that. They're suing them to get them to change their policies. So from the Epic side, they're like, hey, we're doing this for the benefit of everybody. We
Yeah,
want
'cause
apps
it'll be
and
less,
app stores to
right.
be able to have more money in their pocket and not give 30% cut to them, because apparently like Fortnite, I think gave like $13 million in 1 month to Apple because of 30% tax or, price point on there.
Yeah.
So that's the one side of it. On the Apple side of it, it's like, it's been like this forever. Why would you do that? This is like you pay, like if you want to be on the App Store, you follow the rules of the App Store. They built a system like that for that reason. If you don't want to be on there, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Sadly, not many other places to go.
Yeah, that's a true point. So it's interesting how this all developed. Like when this first happened, I was like, holy shit, Epic, like screw you guys. Like I can't believe you're doing this. And I still kind of feel that way. I feel like there's fault on both sides, because on one end, I agree. Well, before I go on my spiel, what do you think about this?
Well, I think you brought up some good points last night when we talked about it. It's just, yeah, I mean, Apple's huge. It's big. It's in all of our lives. You could say they definitely have the marketplace cornered, at least half of it, because, I mean, what other phones can you get? There ain't many other brands to get.
Yeah.
They have that monopoly to a degree, and they're making money, and they just want to make more money. And yeah, I'm not for that, but I'm not against it either. Like, there are ways to make money that's not, bad. And, they got a market, they got a base. I have a problem with them putting out a phone every 6 months or whatever, and it's just like, here's some new hardware that's been changed here and there, and give us another $1,000 for that. And it's just like, are you kidding me? And it's been shown to, they decrease your phone's lifespan or whatever with the battery I forgot the whole thing with that, but
yeah, they eventually came out and admitted that they were doing that.
Yeah, there's issues there for sure. I get it, but like Brett was saying last night, it's like Epic wants money too. They're just trying to get more money, and it's just like this is all just a battle of these big corporations to get more money. I mean, would Epic have done any of this if they were just making Unreal Engine or had a few games out? No. The reason they're in this position is because they have this giant cash cow, and it kind of seems like, okay, yes, they are putting out Unreal Engine 5, and that's great, and we're happy for that, but they have a whole side of their business that's focused on Fortnite, and that is it. Like, I'm glad they have a way to make money because, Unreal Engine 5 looks awesome. If they were putting that money to make other games, or, they are putting some money aside to help some developers, I feel like, other than just giving them like exclusivity rights for the Epic Store. They're in a position to fight for money, and it's just like, whatever, man. Like, I know people are going to care because it's like, I want to play Fortnite. Come on. I want my Fortnite back. And it's like, here we are just watching these two giants in their own respects and their own industries duke it out. It's just like, who cares? Screw both of them. I don't like, it's just stupid. And now they're trying to use these political tactics to like, oh, we're the good people. We're trying to give you more money back so it's be cheaper and stuff. Well, they just want straight access to your wallet. They don't want to go through middlemen. You know what? Middlemen are not always positive. Yes, I get it. Like, that's why drug prices are so high, is because there's a middleman who get the drugs for cheap and then, price them out the ass and sell it to the American consumer. Like, I get it, but 3%, they're only making like $3 on a sell or something like that, which isn't much. Look, it's like Steam. Are we going to do something about Steam? Because they currently have a 30%.
No, I think there's
cut back on that
less
for every purchase.
I want to say it's like 20%, but then they, Epic undercut them.
Yeah,
by
they're
making
trying
it 12.
to do that too. And they, at the time then it was fine. Hey, we're trying to do something positive, and we think people should get more. But you know what? You're forcing someone's hand. You're not doing it by showing them, hey, look at a way that it can be done. We're going to be the beacon of light, and hopefully the industry will change. Forcing people's hands sometimes. That has to be done. But I think for this, it's just all a farce. It's just all a show. It's just them trying to get more money. And that's why I'm just like, whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway, that's
so actually it is 30% cut on Steam.
Yeah.
But then after they hit $10 to $50 million, which is crazy, is the split goes to 25%. And then for every sale after $50 million, they take 20% cut. So they're still taking a shit ton of money because, mean, $50 million, that's crazy.
But they have... It's the price you pay to going to these these industry, or what do you call it, platforms.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, look at what, I mean, this, can be contentious and argued against it, but Star Citizen, I mean, they didn't want to give money to Kickstarter when they launched their platform. So they made their own platform and they've made like $50+ million off of it.
Yep.
So it's like, you can go that route, but the reason why you pay a monthly fee to a thing is for the convenience of that service. And for the fact of getting on the Apple App Store, like you're paying for a lot of things. You're paying for, a store that people find reputable for the most part. I mean, there's definitely a lot of garbage and stuff on there, but you're paying for that. You're paying for the fact that it's going to work on a system. They're going to secure it and update it and make it to where it's like your game's going to play the best it can play as they upgrade phones and stuff like that.
They got a review system on there.
Yeah, it's not plagued by viruses and stuff like that. So for a consumer, they're not charging the consumer for that stuff. Well, in a sense, I guess they kind of are, because they're charging a lot for phones, but really they're not, because I mean, these phones being like, $800 to $1,000 really are, I mean, there's a lot of shit that's in these phones for the price. And I think there can be cost cuts everywhere for sure. But my biggest thing on this whole Epic game situation is that the way in which they approached it, like rather than saying like they made a really strong statement, totally, but I feel like they did it like in a bullying kind of way.
Yeah.
They did the exact same thing that these people are. I mean, Apple's not even doing this, but they were like, hey, instead of let's have a conversation about it, let's talk about it, let's figure out a solution we can work together, just like they did with Steam. Instead of going to Steam and saying, hey, let's change this, hey, we're going to make a competitor store and we're going to come out and say like, these guys are bullshit, come to us instead.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to steal your games away from you and offer exclusivity rights to all these people. Like that was the thing that they did to like win people over, which eventually it did force the hand of Steam to change their policies a little bit. But still, it's like, I'm still going to Steam, and we both still have a sour taste in our mouths because of what Epic did during that time. Yeah. Because of the way in which they did it. Yeah. Like I appreciate the idea behind it. And the same here. I appreciate the idea behind this, but by going behind their back, releasing a system, knowing that they're going to pull your stuff, and then planning an ad campaign to like fight back against them and then sue them, like that's not from a consumer standpoint, that looks like you're bullying Apple into basically it's blackmail in my mind in a way. I mean, obviously like Apple has got a shit ton of money. They can fight this all day long, but it's just, I feel like it's the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah. It's the same way they did with Steam.
Yeah.
And then, again, like with all that said, like, I don't care, guys, just duke it out, I guess, but don't, Epic's just trying to stand on this grant, like be on their high horse. Like, look how good we are. You aren't any better, okay? You just care about the money.
Yeah, and they have the ability to where like, they would not be doing this if it wasn't going to be a benefit to them too. Yeah. And again, if they can get this tax lowered, it's going to make them a shit ton more money. So even though they're going to lose money on this, if they do in fact win, they're going to get all that money back from the litigation costs because they're now getting more money per dollar sold on their stuff that they're selling.
Honestly, I hope they don't win, because then it just makes them look so bad. No one can get updates for Fortnite to put on their mobile phone.
Well, then the worst part about this that, not many people have been talking about is Tencent, the Chinese-owned company, owns a shit ton of Epic games. So what if this is a whole freaking Chinese government thing that's been going on that's like a conspiracy behind it? Like they were like, totalitarian government ad, yet Epic is one that's owned by a communist country. Like,
that is not good.
It's like there's a whole conspiracy thing that ties into that. That's like kind of scary.
Is that you just came up with, or someone been saying that?
No, I just came up with it just because
I forgot that they even are involved with them. Apparently they're not that involved with them where they can make their own decisions, but
Tencent owns 40% of Epic Games.
Yeah.
So they own almost half of the company. So this very well could have been like a move by them.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they get money back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's crazy to me that this stuff's all happening, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I hope that Apple doesn't give. I mean, like I totally want Apple to change their policies, but I don't want them to do it at the hand of Epic winning, because I think that Epic, as much as they do good stuff, like I've mentioned we did a video, or I did a little hot take on our Instagram stories about this. And like the big thing for me is I feel like Epic has made the gaming industry worse. They make Unreal Engine, which is awesome. I mean, it's a great engine. They've recently changed their policies to where it's free to use until you hit $1 million worth of sales. So that's cool. I mean, that's a consumer first thought process.
Yeah.
But they released Fortnite, which was a stolen idea from PUBG. They monetized the shit out of it. They're the ones that made battle passes mainstream. They're the ones that made free to play mainstream. They're the ones that did bring crossplay mainstream, which is cool. But the things that they did that have the whole industry has followed suit in have made the industry worse in my mind, and not as enjoyable to talk about, because every game's ridden with Fortnite based mechanics and stuff like that. And it sucks. Like skin after skin after skin was a Fortnite thing first before it was anywhere else. And they've just like made it to where like these kids are growing up on, oh, I want Fortnite costumes and shit like that. I'm like, we're breeding a freaking, bunch of kids that just want to pay stuff.
Mario was our first game. Fortnite is their first game.
How many skins have you seen Mario wear? All he wears is freaking shorts when he plays Super Mario Sunshine.
Honestly, that's all part of the plan. You get them young, and then that's like what they grew up on, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
You can continue that process and make it even worse. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been on this conversation too long. This is the first article.
Seriously.